Welcome everyone to part 10 of the A6 DLC showcase, where today we're going to be showcasing my least favorite plane in the game, the Su-47 Barracuda. And anybody that's seen my streams before knows my issue with the Su-47. But for those who don't, I have OCD. And one of the things that triggers it is asymmetry. Like the Barracuda's tail. The right tail boom is so much longer than the left. It's annoying and I hate it. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to show off the good things about the Su-47. Just don't look at the tail. Alright, so Su-47, as you can see, we've got 3 base planes. We're going to be testing, or our control will be the SP color, because it actually looks interesting. Because this is just blank gray with a little bit of camo. And this is just black. This one actually has features on it. Anyway, according to the stats, this is a very mobile and stable aircraft. Decent speed, decent defense, good air-to-air, but lacking in air-to-ground. In fact, it only has unguided bombs, which, while powerful, this is not an ideal bombing aircraft. It does have QAMs and Sparrows, though. We're going to use the Sparrows.
Which plane should I select? How about my weaponry?
Yes, Salty. May the asymmetry frown upon us all.
Are we ready to fly with these planes? Garuda team, time to take off.
Those bombers have passed through the mountains.
Now, the design of the Barracuda's fine, except for that freaking tail.
Head back to the base if you need supplies. You can land there at any time.
Takeoff complete. Good luck up there.
Yes, if you watch Sly's charity stream, you will notice there is no
Take them out.
triangles on the land. That is because this is an Xbox console
This
version.
territory's all we've got left. Garuda team, it's in your hands.
This is the digital version that
Stay
came with
range
the
of radar
A7
facility.
pre-order.
That should give you the upper hand in battle.
Look at all that smoke.
They're under attack on the front line.
Although if you have the original disc from the 360, that works too.
Is Slovakia trying to raise our entire country?
I do like the internal weapons made.
More enemy bombers detected on radar. It looks like another formation.
Why are your arms weak, Starscream? Is the asymmetry getting to them? Because I can totally understand that. Your arms are weak because of your mother's spaghetti.
It's another bomber formation. Intercept.
Alright. It's either some bad spaghetti or some damn good spaghetti. I'm not sure which.
Damn it! What a bunch of lies!
I'm not playing feudal war games, I'm playing Ace Combat. What's the difference?
Lock on.
Had to carry a music binder.
Enemy bomber is down.
I had to.
More enemy bombers incoming. There's
Oh yeah,
one this
graduation. Well, Starscream, congratulations on graduating from high school. And I'm gonna tell you exactly what my dad told me when I graduated.
Lock on!
Unemployment starts now.
Connecting ESM for Garuda 1. Enemy at 6 o'clock.
You still have 2 years, Salty.
Careful now. The enemy has you on radar.
Well,
Enemy bombers incoming. Intercept.
enjoy.
Bomber confirmed down. Keep
Um,
up the good work.
Enjoy being young while it lasts. Well, of course, your binder's heavy as fuck. Starscream, it's a music binder.
Bombers are still incoming. Stay sharp.
Great power at the number 2 radar site. I don't care. It's all over if it doesn't call.
Commencing lock on.
Okay, you faint.
Take out those bombers first and foremost. Don't worry about the escorts.
I will worry about the escorts. They're phantoms and they need to die. Right.
Careful now. The enemy has you on radar.
Oh, don't worry. I'm using a special anti-phantom missile. It works on the undead.
Bombers are approaching the city. Intercept.
Thank you.
Watch out! The enemy has a lock on you. I've got lock on. Missile struck target.
Lock on. Missile evaded.
Alright, let's get back to the bombers. There they are. Yeah, as I was watching the charity stream yesterday, I was like, I'm glad he's playing A6, but oh my god, those triangles are totally fucking with me.
Bomber number 8 confirmed down.
This one's mine. Bermuda 2 launched a missile.
So while the
Nice
Zinnia
bomber down.
emulator, if you have no other way to play A6 and you want to, by all means, go ahead. Yeah, they do kind of look like the Star Destroyers.
Formation is confirmed down.
Well, no, not really.
Handled things well.
Star Destroyers are more of an arrowhead.
Roger that, Avalanche. Just report you as gunned down and missing.
The Zinnia
Ah, that's pretty harsh.
triangles are more like
It's time to get on home now. Try and make it back for supper.
Salty goes. Zinnia AC6 is better than the original.
Bombers have passed through the mountains and are still on course for Vitose.
They're here.
I'm letting you get away with that just because you're young
Enemy bombers have been intercepted.
and naive.
Enemy aircraft around the Kesed perimeter have been significantly weakened. Our forces have taken advantage.
You know
of the
how
opportunity
much
to arrange a swift counterattack.
the
We
asymmetric
expect the
tails
best from them.
of the Barracuda bug me. If I had to fly in the Zinnia A6 emulator right now with no music, horribly textured ground with all those Dorito chips. No, I understand it's being sarcastic, Salty. I'm trying to continue the joke. Anyway. Enough giving each other shit. Let's go on to the reason why you're all here. The DLC aircraft.
A large-scale formation of Estevakian bombers.
Alright. First DLC aircraft is the Gråvik emblem. Ostrich streamed last night? Oh, god damn it. Oh well. Worry about that later. So, as we can see, the base plane or color scheme is exactly the same as the base American. The only differences are the markings. The double O, or the triple O instead of the 10, Belkin markings instead of a Marion, and the Gråvik snake instead of the Garuda Pius, a bird. But other than that, tell me how it's different. In livery. It's not. It's boring. Now as for stats, we lose some speed and stability, but gain, I guess, a little bit of mobility? Yeah, a little bit, not much. I've never actually flown this one, largely because it's an Su-47. Another reason is I don't like the livery for it, so who cares? Ace Combat 5 Gråvik Squadron Aircraft. An aircraft that boasts increased mobility in designated speed zones, but a slight decrease in all other zones. The need for precise speed control makes this aircraft suitable for experienced pilots. The signature aircraft of the Belkin Air Force 229th Tactical Fighter Squadron. Originally employed as an Osean Federation offensive squadron, they took their final stand for the pride of Belka against the rival Rosgreens. Okay, first, they weren't standing for the pride of Belka. That's Indigo Squadron's job. Rot Squadron's job. I'm not looking at the tail star screen.
Garuda 1, which plane? How about my weaponry? Are we ready to fly with these planes?
Garuda team, time to take off.
Gråvik were zealots. The Belka that actually had any pride whatsoever died when they nuked themselves.
They're here. Head back to the base if you need supplies. You can land there at any time.
After that, the Belka that everyone, I honestly believe, has nostalgia for, ceased to exist.
Garuda team, a formation of enemy bombers is on its way to Vitose. Take them out.
Although if the ending of A7
This territory is all we've got left. Garuda team, it's in your hands.
is any indication of
Intercept those
anything,
bombers. Stay within range of the radar facility. That should
they
give you
might
the
be
upper
able
hand
to
in
come
battle.
back.
Is Slovakia trying to raise our entire country? Look at all that smoke. They're under attack on the front line. Our air defense network won't last much longer. Where are the enemy bombers?
There's it. 8 tough enemies. Yeah, Gråvik, for me, was completely forgettable. I know the game made a whole big deal about 8492, but you never really fight them, except for the 8492 mission, which basically you're just supposed to run. You fight 4 of them
Looks like another formation.
while you're trying to get Bartlett out of Yuktabanya. And they're an easy fight.
Enemy bombers are approaching the city. Get on the scene immediately.
Then you fight them against the Solg, and if you're smart, you have a plane that either has XLAAs, XMA, or
Planes are showing up on
TLS.
It's another bomber formation.
They fly in perfect formation, so it's fire, sweep over, fire again. They're all dead. Gråvik Squadron, in my opinion, is the worst enemy ace squadron, even more so than Strigan, because at least Strigan can give you somewhat of a fight. Gråvik, all of the times you face them, it's a curb stomp.
More enemy bombers incoming. There's quite a few this time.
Ghost of Rosgrees is different because you're fighting in a canyon, and that's technically Ofnir. I actually remember Ofnir more because of that fight.
This one's mine. Fired. All pilots, make sure the bomber squadron can do its job.
But Gråvik and Ofnir, one, don't have that. Their livery is okay
Garuda 1, ESM is active.
for the S-32. But I don't use the S-32 because
4th enemy bomber confirmed down. Keep up the good work.
it's too similar to the Bearcoot.
In gun range.
But say what you will about Strigan,
Bombers are still incoming. Stay sharp.
they have a great livery. They have at least one character everyone likes, even those that don't like A6, and Victor Wojcik. And granted, you fight them way too often, and I'm with Sly on that one. But their fights are at least somewhat challenging until you get the Nosferatu. Especially the first time you play the Moloch Desert. Since it's an anti-ground mission, you're probably not flying something that can take flankers on.
Take out those bombers first and foremost. Don't worry about the escorts.
It's the first time I played Moloch Desert. That Strigan fight was one of the hardest fights of my life because I was in a fucking A-10.
Confirmed down.
It's like, oh, this is an anti-ground mission. Rockets. Wait, we're getting jumped by Strigan? Fuck. And you don't get allied support for that mission. So I couldn't just do what I used to do and just have, okay, cover me while I go stomp on some ground targets.
Enemy bombers are approaching the city. Intercept.
Is this thing not like Taiji? Oh yeah, this thing bleeds speed really quickly. The A-10 is one of the best aircraft in this game. It's just
Connecting ESM for Garuda 1.
there are a few missions where you absolutely do not want to use it. Vitose is one of them. But yeah, Moloch Desert, if you're not prepared for it, that Strigan fight
I
can
have to say you handled things well.
fuck you up. But for most missions,
Avalanche. I'll just report you as good
there's
as
enough
done.
ground targets for you to build up the assault bar, and if
That's pretty hard.
enemy fighters jump you, you can just have the Amerians bail you out.
Try and make it back for supper.
The enemy bombers have been our force. We
Alright, so I'm going to be honest. I didn't feel anything different between the base Su-47 and the Gråvik emblem. Not a thing. I think it might have been a little bit slower. But yeah. Gråvik,
our forces
even in A6, Gråvik is forgettable.
Forces in Anya will gradually
That, to me, is Gråvik's biggest sin. It's forgettable. Anyway, now on to an Su-47 squadron that is very memorable. Galt. I love this livery. We lose some speed, but we gain even more mobility. So I'm not sure how this is going to translate. So far, these stats haven't really changed much. But at least we get a different skin out of it. You can see the 602, the Belkin roundel, the Galt emblem, PL tail code. I have no idea what that means. Anyway, Ace Combat Zero Galt Team aircraft. An aircraft with improved training performance in reduced speed zones. Allows for smooth changes in formation. Although its thrust performance has been decreased, this fighter's streamlined movement is all that is required to snare the enemy in its sights. The signature aircraft of the Belkan Air Force 18th Air Division 5th Tactical Fighter Squadron, otherwise known as the Galt Team. This squadron of ace pilots was led by a cool and collected man, rumored to be the leader of a world with no boundaries. And in fact, Galt Team's legacy can be felt in A6. The Guion was developed heavily by this guy, Fenkus, aka Lorenz Radel, formerly known as Galt 7. Even his assault record has a Belkan flag. When I was first playing A6, I hadn't played Zero yet. It's like, what the hell is this flag? So yeah,
Which plane should I pick?
peek, do that.
How about my weaponry? Talisman. How about my... Are we ready to fly with...
Garuda team, time to take off.
Let Victor be justice. Okay. I didn't want to do that. Well, never played 0 or 4. I mean, I recommend them even if I don't like the way 4 handles. If you like 5, you'd love 0. 0 has Ace 5's handling, but it actually gives you the ability to choose your special weapon. Pixie actually does shit. And the story, in my opinion, I like better than Ace 5's, but Ace Zero's story is largely inspired by World War II. There are major differences.
Now this is what I call a squadron.
Salty. PJ isn't in Mission 18.
Grace Mary, dead ahead.
I think you mean the beginning cutscene of Mission 18.
The Stovies are on their way. They're not stupid, you know.
Headwaters here with some great news. Rumor has it that our angels in from Cassette have joined up with the American military in Silvat.
Hey.
Yeah. They are charging in like rhinos, folks. I think a lot of positive things are about to happen.
Warning.
Refurbish Ace Combat. What Ace Combat games are they?
Exactly what we plan to do. All planes, assume attack formation.
I can hardly see a thing. We've got mountains right below us. Watch your altitude, Talisman.
Because I hate the idea of giving Walmart money, but if they have, especially 0, get it.
Ghost Eye to Snake Pit. Keep close tabs on their movement.
Oh, Assault Horizon Legacy for 3DS. That's not a bad game. You could probably get it at GameStop or Vintage Stock. I just used to work for, Oh, they do have the Holy Trinity? Get them. Do it.
Enemy plane down.
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the Holy Trinity, because I played 6 first, but
Target hit.
every Ace Combat player or fan should play the Trinity.
Garuda 1, System is active.
I mean, hell, I got a PS2 just so I could play the Trinity.
Radar lock.
A missile! Talisman, take evasive action! Talisman, you have a bandit on your tail!
Missile was evaded.
So you can feel the sluggishness and speed for the Galt aircraft, but
Rotor 1 bagged an
it
enemy.
is very, very mobile, kind of.
Watch out! The enemy has a lock on you!
At lower speeds, this thing is much more mobile. It's actually really interesting.
This is Snake Pit. We're under attack from enemy fighters. Requesting backup. Oh, play hard to get, huh? You take airport planes and the electronic support aircraft today. Careful now. The enemy has you on radar.
It doesn't like high G turns, though.
All our forces are down. All planes, don't fire alone. Fly in formation. All right, team. Looks like my support's coming in handy. Now take out the rest of them. I took a hit. Damn it. Mayday! I've been hit! She's out of control!
Now, of the Holy Trinity, my favorite is Zero. I just... There's some things I don't like about Zero. I don't like the missile tracking, but I'm weird like that and prefer A6s.
Watch out for that missile, Garuda 1.
Ow! Holy fuck.
Missile was evaded.
Missile was evaded as two slam into me. Okay, Ghost Eye.
Enemy plane in gun range. Box 2. Missile strike confirmed.
But up until A7, A0 had the darkest story line in the Strange Real games. Well, I take that back. The Japanese release for 3 probably was darker, but the Japanese release for 3 also makes Metal Gear Solid look like it has a coherent plot line. So, yeah.
Enemy aircraft down.
But I love the Arthinian lore that's all over Zero, as well as all the World War II references. Like, for instance, June 6th. Yeah, it's the day the Balkans nuked themselves into oblivion, but
Connecting
it's a
ESM
World
for
War
Garuda
II
1.
reference. Both times it references a major change in the war. In the Balkan War, that's essentially when the war officially ended. Whereas, or the beginning of the end of the war. Whereas, in the real world, today is the day that the Allies opened up a Western Front in Europe. Today is the day that the beginning of France's liberation began.
You're approaching the return line. Maintain your current heading to return
Today
to
is
base and
D-Day.
resupply.
Garuda 1, begin landing checks. You are cleared to land. You're too high. Lower your nose. 1 mile to touchdown. You're too high. Lower your nose.
Oh, salty.
We're coming in too fast. Ease up on the throttle.
I don't hate joint assaults as much as Sly does. large because I've actually 100%ed it on the PSP. But I can understand why people don't like it.
Perfect, Garuda 1. Garuda 1, begin landing checks. You are cleared to land.
But if I'm honest, I don't actually hate any Ace Combat game. There are some that I don't like more than others. But I honestly, in my opinion, I've never played a bad Ace Combat game. I also haven't played Northern Wings yet either, so... Although I probably should have, given that in my Fires of Unification story, Nord-Navik is the bad guy.
Garuda 1, altitude restrictions have been canceled.
Oh well.
Luck.
ESM for Garuda 1.
I would get, depending upon how much you can afford, the priorities for that Starscream, I would say 0 first, then 4, then Assault Horizon for either PS3 or 360. Actually, get it for the PS3. Because I still have PlayStation, or on the PS3 you don't need a subscription in order to play online, and I can help you grind out the multiplayer exclusive Stranger Real skins. And if you decide to get 3, just be warned, that is the export version of 3. You're strictly doing the UPEO storyline.
Careful now. The enemy has you on radar.
It's the watered down version.
I've got a new aircraft on radar. This must be a wave of attacks aimed at Warlock Battalion.
Careful now. The enemy has you on radar.
I've noticed this thing really has enhanced maneuverability at lower speeds. So you're on the nice edge between stall speed and speed that where your maneuverability tanks. Which fits in with the Galt leader's obsession with precision.
Garuda 1 bagged an enemy.
Another one. New aircraft detected. Approaching Warlock Battalion at high speed. Talisman is locked on.
That's what I'm talking about. That was a little too easy. It's not over yet. Keep your eyes open.
Garuda 1 launched missile.
The base American Su-47 still has good maneuverability at higher speeds. Galt 7, or the Galt aircraft does not. However, it is much more maneuverable than the base at
Enemy down.
what I like to call the sweet spot.
As always, Garuda. Thanks for the cover.
Like between 300 and 600 knots.
Let's just get this over with. I think you're caught up in a jammer's web. Fly carefully. Things aren't as they seem. I can barely control this thing. We got jammers mixed in with us. I'll take them all out.
Enemy jammers are set up to reduce our missile and radar capabilities. Watch out.
Oh wow. Galt aircraft no likey high EG turn. Sly was complaining about the lack of stability for the
Missile struck target.
CFA. Oh boy.
Their signal jamming just got weaker. Right on. Shoot down all the jammers. Radar's back to normal. Take out the rest just like that. How come the jammers aren't phasing them? Do the Americans have a new special weapon?
Second jammer down.
Yes, the new special weapon is
Third jammer down.
totally X-ray vision, and not the fact that your radar jamming just shows up as a giant green blob on my radar.
Fourth jammer down. Talisman is locked on. Enemy down. Fifth jammer down. Missile fired. Activate guidance.
My radar hasn't cleared up. Are there still jammers out here? My radar's all clear. Seems like those jammers are down. Quiet feet under those conditions. Roger. All forces ordered to evacuate. Break away from the airspace.
What the? The enemy's starting to back off.
Well, they won't get far. Chase is on.
I'm heading back to the base. Mainly to get some QAAMs.
Launching missile.
Okay. So, right behind the forward nose gear. I was just looking at the unusual missile internal weapons bay arrangement.
I've got something on radar. That's odd. Multiple small objects flying at slow speed through the airspace.
Whatever. Small, big, bring them on.
Now, what I want to know is why
Other
didn't
aircraft are Wait a minute.
they
Warning, cruise missiles
use these in
incoming.
Grace
All planes
Maria,
break. What?
or if what allowed us to detect these drones now.
Look out! Those are the same missiles used to wipe out Grace Maria. The Nimbus is unstoppable. Ion, continue to engage.
What would be really cool is if, even if they couldn't be targetable, if well, I need to test something. We're gonna have some science with Roscrews real quick.
I'm coming in too fast. Ease up on the throttle. Turn right. Way too low. Raise your nose. Guidance limit exceeded. Proceed with visual landing.
This is technically a runway. Wonder if I can actually land on it. Yes, I can! Success!
Nice landing, Little One. Little One, begin landing checks. You are cleared to land.
Alright, let's get the QAMs. We get an A+ for science. We have one science today.
Takeoff.
No, as I was saying, it'd been, I don't know if they have, but it'd been cool that if in Invasion of Grace Maria, once the Nimbus starts firing, is if at the center of each explosion, there's an untargetable drone that you could actually see, you just couldn't target.
All planes, cancel offensive and retreat. Garuda team, escort our planes out of there.
You gotta be kidding me. How are we supposed to
I
defend that?
honestly, though, don't know if that's the case.
Shoot them down and the attacks will subside. Each missile's estimated range of impact shows up on radar. The observation plane should be located right in the center of that range. Garuda team, shoot down those observation planes. You've got to hold out until all our forces have been safely evacuated. Range of impact confirmed on radar. The observation plane must be right in there.
Boom.
Lock on.
Ion, the rest is up to you.
That sucks, Starscream.
Gas ready to fire. Commence countdown.
10 observation craft remaining.
These guys are unmanned.
It sucks knowing that you worked so hard on something and ultimately it didn't change anything. But that's life.
We have radar lock on.
The important thing is how you
Destroyed the target.
move on from that. That's the real lesson. Shit! Shamrock, kill it.
I've got lock on.
Garuda 1, Fox 2.
We've lost squadron drones of 01 and 04. Revising the
Target down. About half the observation planes have been destroyed. Keep your guard up.
Ghost,
Because
are those planes evacuated yet?
I can guarantee you
Not
that
yet. Evacuation's still
shit
on
like that
complete.
happens all the time in the world of adulting. But just know that you ain't gonna... You're never the only one that's
Fox 2.
gonna have that happen to you, so there's always people that can help. This fight is so annoying. This plane stalls so easily.
5 observation craft remaining. 3 observation craft remaining.
If only we could have shot him down at Grace Maria.
If only we could have seen him in Grace Maria.
We have radar lock on.
But then we wouldn't have a game.
Two observation craft remaining. Just 1 observation craft remaining. Garuda 1, missile launch. All operation planes are
Yay,
down.
finally
Well
done.
Team.
I guess we managed to pull it off. We've got to do something about those missiles, or there won't be a Grace Maria to get back to. The Stovies are on their way. They're not stupid, you know.
Headwaters here with some great news. Rumor has it that our angels in from Cassette have joined up with the American military.
Said Long Fang is long gone.
They are charging.
Who's Long Fang again?
Thanks to your
He's
great
the guy from
Our
Avatar,
troops
right?
wait, but our unit is within range
head of the Dai Li?
Wait.
You're watching Avatar while watching my stream. I mean, I can't fault you for that. Avatar Last Airbender is infinitely more interesting. Oh, you finished Avatar last week. Avatar Last Airbender is one of my favorite animation series of all time.
Attention all pilots. Our capital city, Grace Maria, is
I
under
have the
attack by
complete
unknown aircraft. Damage from the attacks is
Last
widespread throughout the
Avatar
city.
Last
All
Airbender
planes
series
scramble and intercept all
on
threats
DVD,
immediately.
not including Korra, because that's technically a separate series. Alright, the next Barracoot. Oh wow, look at this. It's like they copy-pasted. Again. For the Razgrees aircraft. Yeah, it has the Razgrees emblem, the KT. In the 16, but it's still the same livery and markings as the base Amerian. It's so... I mean, I don't know if this was due to like, is this really how the Razgrees Su-47 looks? Like, does it have the white on it? If so, then I'll shut up about it. But it just looks like they slapped some different decals on the same base plane. As for the stats, the only thing that's different is even less air to ground for better air defense, or for better defense. So they got the wrong skin for it. I honestly think that the developer for the DLC for A6 was like, I hate the Barracuda so much, I'm just gonna be lazy about it, because the stats have been near identical. Aside from Galt 7 just stalling at the drop of a hat, they felt all the same.
Garuda team, time to take off.
No, honestly. I'm gonna let the thing play out, and then you see if you can tell the difference between my Rosgreave skin and Shamrock's Ameria skin. What's up, Nugget? I'm ranting against the asymmetry that is the Su-47 and the apparent lack of differences between the base planes and the DLC. You've missed the base plane, Galt. I'm doing Rosgreave now. Oh yeah, I also did Gråvik. I almost forgot about Gråvik again. But as for performance, the performances have pretty much been almost the same. Galt 7 was slower a little bit with a much higher stall speed, it seems. Like it's easier to stall that. Alright, now tell me the difference between the two skins. I'm wearing Rosgreave and Shamrock has Ameria. Aside from the national markings, what's the difference? This is the same issue I had with Gråvik. Okay, we have one difference.
Talisman and Garuda 2 Shamrock. We are currently in a state of emergency. Our nation is under attack by unknown forces. Do whatever you can to fend off the invasion.
Garuda 2, roger that. Garuda 1,
Yeah, in all
call
seriousness,
shots.
the main reason why I don't like the Barracuda, aside from the asymmetry, is the Su-47s all looked and felt the same to me. It was boring. That and it has no multi-lock. And in a game like A6, you kind of need a multi-lock. Yeah, there's like almost no difference. It's just that the Rosgreave one has red tips where the other ones have yellow.
Currently under attack by unidentified aircraft. The damage apparently extends throughout the entire capital.
And what's really disappointing is for the other aircraft's DLC, like for example Cypher, they put so much care and work into that. The other Rosgreaves, they put care and attention to detail in it.
Garuda 1, we've almost got him. Let's do this one plane at a time.
Looks like the stove is out running out of steam.
Everyone loves Rosgreaves. I mean, I'd be convinced that if there was an Ace Combat convention and somebody just randomly started singing the Unsung War, everyone would join in.
Those bastards think they can barge into someone's house without even calling first.
Unbelievable. I say we teach him a few.
I think the Bearcoot dev just didn't like the Bearcoot. That's my theory. Or either that they were rushed for production behind on something, I don't know.
An intense ground war is taking place in the East District. We strongly urge all citizens of Great Marion to stay indoors at this time.
But the Ace Combat Convention where everybody's singing Storia mutat deras gris.
Close range targets and run
Mean
them
that?
down. Radar lock.
I mean, something similar to that happens at anime conventions. Go to a random anime convention on the vendor floor or whatever, and just start loudly singing, I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. And then just, I guarantee you that within seconds, someone else will be joining in. Well, the thing is that usually most anime fans don't like English openings. The original Pokemon theme is one of the few exceptions,
Careful now. The enemy has you
largely
on
just
radar.
because of how much the original Pokemon anime affected us 90s kids. And the fact that it's so damn catchy.
Keep an eye on your 6 o'clock.
If you say so, Nugget. I don't think I can hold a tune. Although my mother is a member of a Catholic church choir, so maybe that's where I get it from.
That's what I like to hear. Our Air Force is holding down the enemy. Keep it up.
The Estovakian threat level is even lower now. Drive them out of Ameria. What's this? Missiles?
Stricken Stomp with SA. I'll try. I'm not gonna guarantee that we'll be able to get all of them. If we're lucky, we'll be able to get 4.
What the hell was that? Where are they coming from?
Enemy cruise missile incoming.
Those are no ordinary cruise missiles. Evade like hell if you want
I
to.
need at least get blue on the assault charge.
Damn it! What about our city? What about Grace Maria?
Okay, blue on the assault charge. Excuse me.
Warning, additional enemy planes have been spotted on radar. You don't want to know how many.
This is Striker 12. Target acquired. Moving to engage. Calling all civilian planes. Grace Maria shall be ours for the taking.
Well, we got one.
A large-scale explosion has apparently occurred in midair. No further details as yet. I repeat,
This is Ghost Eye to all planes. Air Defense Command has ordered an evacuation. You've been ordered to give up Grace Maria. Break away from this airspace and head west.
Are you out of your mind?
Damn it.
We can't comply with that order.
There we go.
We are militarily
got at least
at a
2.
huge disadvantage. Comply with the order and head west.
This is Avalanche. We're not going anywhere.
Listen! It's only temporary. The plan is to withdraw, meet up with all remaining forces from each area, then regroup for a counterattack. We can't afford to lose you. Follow the order.
This is Garuda 2 to Garuda 1. We really should get
Fine,
out of
we'll
here.
go. Sturgeon Stomp failed. Need a multi-lock missile in order to do it.
This guy's a cut above.
Garuda team, you're about to exit the combat zone. Maintain your course west to leave the airspace. Garuda team, you've made it out of the combat zone. Head for the rendezvous point.
I promise we'll be back for you. Just a little longer. I promise.
Yeah. The Stricken Stomp only works with multi-locks.
Ghost died. Garuda 1, Talisman.
But our cap and our central government has been usurped by them as well.
Alright. One more. Su-47 DLC. And that is... Yes, you saw a B rank. I wasn't able to spawn the Hornets. Exactly, Salty. Has been usurped by them. It's like, mash A button, mash A button. Last DLC aircraft, the Violet Wing. Has the same base stats as the American plane. The difference is it has 800 Sidewinders, and they will be colored purple. And it's the same as every other colored aircraft.
Garuda 1, which plane should I select? How about my weapon, Garuda 1? Which plane should... How about my weaponry? Are we ready to fly with these planes?
Garuda team, time to take off.
Oh, without that filter, it actually looks like a good
Bombers have
purple
passed through the mountains and are still on course for
instead of
Vitose.
like a bluish purple.
They're here.
Head back to the base if you need supplies. You can land there at any time.
Takeoff complete. Good luck up there.
Yeah, even this is better than the Gråvik and Razgri's liveries
Garuda team, a
for this
formation of
plane, because
enemy
at least
bombers is
it's
on its way to
different.
Vitose. Take them out.
Fight a good
You
fight.
tell by a glance at, oh, I'm flying the purple
Territory's all
aircraft.
we've got left. Garuda team, it's in your hands. We've got to intercept those bombers.
I thought I heard something.
Stay within range of the radar facility. That should give you the upper hand in battle.
They're under attack on the front line. Our air defense network won't last much longer. Is Estovakian trying to raise our entire country?
Purple.
More enemy bombers detected on radar. It looks like another formation.
Oh wow, look at that deep purple. we're losing
More
friendlies.
planes are showing up on radar. It's another bomber formation. Intercept.
Yeah, so far I've been disappointed by the Su-47's DLC.
Damn it! What a bunch of lies!
More enemy bombers incoming. There's quite a few this time.
Watch out! The enemy has a lock on you!
Fourth enemy bomber confirmed down. Keep up the good work.
I mean, not only were the
Bombers are still
DLC
incoming.
stats
Stay sharp.
relatively the same, for the most part they look the same too.
Shamrock, box 2. Watch out! The enemy has a lock on you!
In fact, the only fun
Lock on!
Su-47 is the Idolmaster.
Garuda 1, ESM is active.
That's because it can Tokyo drift. It actually has personality.
Yes! Bagged another enemy!
Radar lock.
See, unlike
The enemy has
my
a lock
other
on you!
rankings where there's
Take out those bombers first and foremost.
gonna be
Don't worry about the escorts.
a lot of really good planes that I have to whittle down. It's basically like, okay, this is the only good one, and then here are the rest in descending
Missile
order.
struck target. Enemy bombers are approaching the city. Intercept. Bomber number 8 confirmed down.
Ninth bomber down. How could that have missed?
All right.
Enemy bomber formation is confirmed.
Hates
down.
in multiplayer sounds kind of fun.
Well.
A10 gun only.
Roger that,
No
Avalanche.
missiles.
I'll just report you as
Can only
gunned
use
down
the
and
gun.
missing in action.
That's pretty harsh, Ghost Eye.
All planes, it's time to get on
May the
home.
best Burt win.
Make it back for supper.
Even better. Alright, that was the last DLC aircraft we are going to test.
The enemy bombers
The
have been
Idolmaster,
intercepted. Enemy aircraft around the Kesset
Su-47,
perimeter have been significantly
I believe that
weakened.
mission was
Our
simply
forces have
field.
taken advantage
And I
of
got
this
it.
opportunity.
But I will discuss it in my rankings. Alright, so, number 1. Because it's the only aircraft in this that has a personality. Number 1 is the Idolmaster Miki X. high mobility, high speed, high air-to-air. Almost no stability, air-to-ground, or defense. But just look at those QAMs. 84 of them. And 55 Sparrows. This can also Tokyo drift. Kind of like the A-10 Idolmaster. It's also got a very vibrant livery. I mean, it's got an anime waifu on it. It's the only one that really stands out. And it's also got one of the best Idolmaster quirks. It's Tokyo Drift, but in a fighter that can handle it, versus an A-10. While having an A-10 that drifts is meme-tastic, it's also you're flying too close to the ground. Be careful. This one you're not. So yeah, the Idolmaster Su-47 gets number 1 by a long shot. Number 2. Even though it stalls so easily, I'm giving it to Galt. Just because its livery is different. You can tell just by a glance that you're flying the Galt aircraft because it's Galt. And while it stalls a lot easier than the others and feels noticeably slower than the others, it does have that superior maneuverability in that sweet spot of speed. So it feels like they actually did something with it. Number 3 is the Rosgrees. Just because you get that extra defense. That's all. That's the only reason. There's nothing else that separates it from the pack. Number 4 is the Violet Wing. Largely because it looks unique. It has the colored missiles. Number 5 is the base plane, because it has 2 skins that actually look different. Especially the Kentvar. And then last is Gråvik, because there's literally no change from the base plane in both stats and livery. The only difference is the emblem markings and the tailcode. Yeah, I don't care for the Barracuda. It's the QAMs in A6 suck. So there's no reason for that. The Sparrows are really only good against single targets. And the and the bombs are decent, but if you're going to use a bomb, use the A-10's FAEB. Apparently they flew an Su-47 in A0. But no, apparently this wasn't Gråvik's livery even. So it's even more deserving of last place that this isn't actually a representation of Gråvik, which makes it even more perfect because no one knows about or what Gråvik's actual Su-47's livery is, apparently, because they're so forgettable. Project Aces forgot what they look like. Anyway, that's all we have for today.